And right now, the young chicks from this year's broods are all starting to emerge. The young magpies, the young wattlebirds, the butcherbirds, all around southern Australia, there are chicks leaving their nests with their parents. And what happens, especially in windy weather, and it's a little bit breezy here at the moment, what we have is sometimes the chicks will leave a day or two early than they should, and they don't fly very well. And people with the best of intentions will find these birds on the ground and feel that they need to help them and intervene. Now, sometimes all that's needed is for the bird to be picked up off the ground and popped up into a safe place in a tree, and the parents will be nearby and the parents will take over the task. Sometimes you might have to make sure that, you know, they're safe from foxes and currawongs, etc. Sadly, many of these young birds are picked up and taken away, even though their parents are still around, and taken to wildlife caring places, which is great. The carers will look after them, but then they need to be returned to where the parents are. And often you can return them a day or two later. And there is no problem with that in the sense that the parents will often take the birds back. Parent birds don't react to the smell of humans on the chicks. And sometimes that's a satisfactory way of doing it. But if the birds are kept away from their parents long, it can be very difficult to reintroduce them back and make them wild birds again. So if you do find chicks on the ground at this time of the year, young magpies, young wattlebirds, honey eaters, whatever, always be hesitant to intervene. Check to make sure that the parents aren't actually still around and feeding them and looking after them. And if you feel the bird is in a vulnerable place, just pop it up out of harm's way in a thicket or onto a shrub. The bird will often be able to grip quite well, and the parents are the best place for the chick to be cared for. So this epidemic of kidnapping of birds that occurs at this time of the year doesn't need to be an epidemic. We should just perhaps leave the birds where they are, and hopefully they will have the best chance of survival to grow into adult birds.